Guys, welcome back to the League Crawler podcast. We are at episode 24. I was just on YouTube the other day. I don't typically get over there. I post the content and stuff. I don't really do a lot of digging, but I noticed that we are at 99 subs. So the next person that applies, and maybe by Friday it's already going to be done, but the next one is going to be 100. And you don't get anything cool, but I thought that was a pretty cool thing. We're now into the 3-number mark. That's awesome. There's going to be some changes coming to this podcast. In fact, the way that this podcast is currently done is actually going to completely go away. And before you go, oh no, the podcast going away, it's not going away. It's actually going to get a significant upgrade. Instead of just doing audio, in the future, we are going to be doing it with cams. We're going to have backgrounds. There's going to be animations on the screen. It's going to be a full production. We'll have intros. We're going to have commercials. So those of you that are Patreons are going to have access to new things. If you have things in your league like commercials, send them over my way. I'm going to throw them up into the podcast, and we're going to do some fun things. So I don't know if we're going to be calling it a podcast anymore, but there's definitely changes coming, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to give a huge shout out to Maddenverse.com. The other day, they hit me up, and they're like, hey, we're going to do our inaugural Hall of Fame. We're going to include League Crawler. Matt would like you there with him. Can you come do it? And I was assuming I'm coming on. I'm going to be a plus one. I might mention a couple things here and there. But what actually happened was they inducted both of us into the Hall of Fame, and I want to give them a huge shout out. It was a very humbling experience. I did not expect that to be something that was going to happen. But huge shout out to you guys over at Maddenverse for looking out and trying to include different things. And I believe League Crawler deserves all that kind of stuff. I also believe that Matt deserves most of it. But I was definitely humbled that they brought me on and included me in that. If you haven't gone over and checked out the July $20 giveaway over at leaguecrawler.com, I encourage you guys to do that. That's supported by our Patreon members. It's free money, so I don't understand why no one would want to go over there and do it. So if you want a $20 giveaway or a chance at it, head over to leaguecrawler.com for more information. To our Patreon supporters, the Soden Bulls, the SPAs, huge shout out to you guys for even making this happen. You're our platinum supporters. The money that you give help go to donations, so a huge shout out to you guys. And I personally want to give a huge shout out to Nate over at Grown Folks Online Community, the OMFL. He reached out to me. He's like, Mo, get over here, post your guys' link anytime that you guys want to do something. That's, to me, what the Mad community is all about. That's why I do this show. Is I'm here to help people grow their dreams. If my dreams grow while I'm doing this, great. If they don't, great. But I don't want to be a block ever for how far somebody can go. So to have somebody reach out and do the same thing for me, that was awesome. I really appreciate that. And that to me is what I would like to continue showing is what this community can be all about. Having said all that, we have a cool guest today. I don't know if you guys have heard or if you've seen, but I typically see them retweet a lot. I follow them on Twitter. I see a lot of things retweeted from them, and that is a leather helmets over on Xbox. And today we have the commissioner over there. Buddy, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
You know, I should have done this before, and this is a huge mistake on my part, and I don't ever want to hide anything. I could have just messaged you real quick, but I should have reached out. I should have asked you what your name is, because what I got was you're interviewing the guys over at Leather Helmets. And as much as I want to combine you guys as a group, I'd actually like to get you guys to know you guys individually. Tell the people who you are.
Well, I'm Jim Jones. I'm the commish. We got a couple guys that help me run the league, Undisputed. Baj Marley and Smitty are a couple guys that help me run the league. They're my co-commissions. But the league isn't even really about that. It's about, we have 32 guys that literally you don't have to worry about. They're going to play their games. We're going to joke around in the chat. It's kind of like a little brotherhood. It's not stressful to run that league. Some people be like, oh man, I don't want to commission. I don't want to run a league because it's stressful. I really don't feel that way over there because it's just, 32 guys that, just like playing Madden.
Exactly. And most leagues that are fun to play, and typically that's the reason why, is you find a group of 32 that mesh really well with what you're doing. When did you guys get started?
Man, we've been playing. It's funny because, like, I started leagues playing NCAA 13, because that's really when you first could like play like online with a bunch of guys, and it was only like 8 users. But those 8 users are, I'm gonna say 4 of them are still in the league today. So I kind of built this league off of those users and people they know, and then like, we got introduced to Group Me. So what was that? 2012 is probably when the league first started, because it was our NCAA league was called Leather Helmet. So I take it back to that when we first started, like the online league thing. So,
See, this is where I'm definitely going to need your help, because one of the things that I like to do is I like to go on to any kind of content I can possibly get to and do like a history, right? Like I like to come on and I like for the guys that we interview to be blown away and be like, yo, bro, I didn't even know that you knew some of that stuff. The issue with what you guys do is I couldn't really find a lot before 2019. So here's what I'm going to need from you, brother. You just said something to me that already has sparked my interest and said that this started with NCAA. I need the history of not just when this started, but why this is even a thing. Why leather helmets is even here in 2021. What happened back in 2012 that you went, it's time.
well, back 2012 it was literally just a couple guys from work, and they were like, "Hey, we play, and we're all interested in the same thing. Hey, let's try to get a league together. You ever try to like just join a random league online? It's never organized, nothing. You barely even get games in, and you can't get in contact with your opponent. And these are kind of the things that frustrated, the guys that I got in with. So again, it started with us eight. We moved over to Madden the first year that you were allowed to create the online dynasty. It wasn't going too well, and then like you said, 2019 when it's kind of when we took off. We were in Group Me. We were going steady for a couple years over there, and somebody was like, "Hey, you should check out this Discord app. It's a lot more organized. You might be able to link up with some people that really know how to like promote your league and get you guys out there, because you guys, for as much as fun it is, if we're taking an hour out of our day, we want it to mean something at the same time. We all have other things we could be doing besides wasting time. So we got over in Discord. We started meeting a lot of different people, and somebody was like, "Hey, you should make a Twitter page for your account." So that's when we put the Twitter page together. We started doing a lot of different things that got us out in the market. I give a big shout out to the AGS guys, because I met a lot of guys in there that really I took a lot of things they were doing and a lot of ideas, and we shared and we bounced things off of each other, and they really like made me want to take it a lot more serious and get guys in the league that really want to ball. And that was like the main thing, like just getting away from some of the things that wasn't working, as far as like users, the apps you're using and things like that, and get around people that are doing kind of like things. And you don't realize how I didn't realize how big the Madden community was until I started doing those things. It's like, wow, a lot of people do this. A lot of people have a good time doing it. And it's always fun to link and connect with all these different leagues, especially for like tournaments and stuff like that. So like that was just eye opening to us. And like a lot of these guys like are like legitimate friends of mine now that I've played with over the last 4 or 5 years. Um, and then we started stat tracking and keeping track of our bowl winners and things like that. And then it made it really mean something. So this year, we're coming up on our 20th Super Bowl. So we're kind of creating that history that you stumbled upon from 2019. But again, it goes way back farther. But now we're putting the work in, and we're kind of documenting this stuff, so it can be it can mean a little something.
No, I completely get it. One of the things that I like to do for especially leagues that come on is I really want our listeners who have never heard about leather helmets to leave this conversation and go, I know exactly what these guys are all about. So the league starts in 2012 based on what you guys are playing like as friends. You're trying to find something that's organized. So you get something going, right? And it really starts picking up steam, right? But now you're here at 2021. I have to believe that along the way you've picked up some goals or you've picked up some things that said this is what defines us. What would those things be?
I think the number one thing is fair play. If you're playing a game in leather helmets, you're gonna get the best Madden experience. Even for the pro gamers who complain about rules and things like that. There's something for every type of Madden gamer, and I think that's probably like the number one thing. When you come in there, you're going and the best players who play a certain way are going to adapt to our rules because it just makes sense. And that leads me to the second thing. Our rules. Our rules are kind of like, it gives the user the freedom to, you know, play the game how they want to play. But again, it keeps everybody on the same playing field. Um, and then our thing is like the cream will eventually rise to the top. And then that leads me to my third thing is I think we have some of the better Madden players in the community, just all from top to bottom. Like we have guys in there that can really, really ball. Um, so if you're looking for a challenge, you're looking to really test yourself. This is the kind of league you should try to be in.
That actually leads me right to my next question, and that is to piggyback on wanting the audience to understand what it is that leather helmets are. I also want to give you an opportunity to advertise to the people you're looking for. So if I were to ask you, Jim, I said, "Yo, leather helmets has room for like 3 more people, right?" And I'm assuming they don't because you guys are killing it over there on your Discord. But let's just say that you did. If I sat here and said you now have the opportunity to describe the perfect leather helmets member, who are you looking for?
Um, I'm looking for that guy that has been in the lobby. He's winning games. He's finding out ways to stop all the meta, all the garbage that comes out every year with Madden. He's getting bored, and he's like, you know what? I want to challenge myself. I still like to play Madden, but I really want to challenge myself. That's the guy I'm looking for because like you'll find yourself in leagues and you feel like the rules are too strict, or you feel like I can't play the ball. I can't play Madden how I want to play it. No, you can. You can come over here and you can ball with us because we're gonna make you step your game up. And within these rules, you're gonna see like I respect the rules because it's not taken away from my gameplay. It's taken out the you know some of the things in the game that just may not be um, realistic to say. Some of the glitches in the game. We're not going to allow you to abuse the AI. We want you to actually use your skills to play, and guys respect that. So I'm looking for that guy who's just looking for something else to do. You're in that lobby and you're playing, you're winning, and come, find some structure and and also get some good competition in there
I love it.
because yeah.
I love it. You mentioned earlier that AGS was a league that you guys had been around in the beginning, that you got a lot of help from. Can you kind of fill me in on a little bit of that?
Yeah, so when I first joined Discord, it's funny. I got in at the beginning of Genesis. It was like an MSR, kind of like I guess it was like a training league to get into MSR. And I was like seeing how these guys are doing things, and it was like preseason. The game hadn't even dropped yet. So everybody they were kind of planning for the next launch, and this Genesis league was going to launch um with the release of the Madden. And I met a guy in there. He was like, "Hey, we got a league over here, and they're still currently playing this year's game." I go in, and it's AGS, and I'm meeting guys in there. They got graphics. They're, doing voice channel stuff. They're using Discord way better than I was using Discord, like maximizing the functions of Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So their commissioner JP, I got, me and we're talking. We talk via DM. Very helpful. Any questions that I had, hey, I do this, I try this. You should talk to this person, or So he wasn't like cagey with the information. He was super helpful, and it really helped me bring that type of information back to leather helmets, and use that stuff to push my league up and build my league, and get guys.
Can you hear me, buddy? I think I might have lost you. I think we might. Can you hear me? How about now? Can you hear me now? I can't. I don't know if you can hear me. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. As soon as we can get him back on, we'll be right back. Guys, welcome back. Can you hear me, Jim Jones?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect, buddy. All right. So where we just kind of ended off was you talking about AGS and the help that you got. And what I was getting from that was that when you guys were first starting out, it doesn't really seem like AGS was holding a lot back. They were there to pretty much help support the start of what you guys were doing. Did I get that right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and again, we have been a league that were, you know, going well for a while. It just we didn't have any exposure. Like the guys in the league knew about the league, you know. So what AJS did was, you know, opened our eyes to the possibilities and showed us how big the community was and the willingness that, you know, from commission to commission to help even regular users. And then you got users that are joined from these leagues and then they become a part of your community. So um, that's kind of what they introduced us to. And it was just like eye opening again for a lot of us. And a lot of our guys still currently play in AGS, you know, so um, you know, and they're some of their best users because they're steady guys, you know. So we're supporting the community as well.
Yo, I gotta apologize to you, buddy, because I just kind of set you up. And what I did was we have sponsors, right? And the reason that Matt allows me to do this is because I'm pretty good at transitioning from one thing to another. And when you told me that you had the help from AGS, I wanted the story, but I also wanted to pair that with what we're doing, which is really cool with a site called spacetrader.com, right? Spacetrader.com is a site that people can go to and they can, if they're starting a business, right? Let's say I have a furniture business. I'm really good at going out to my garage. I can build the best chairs possible. Everybody sits in my chairs. They say their butt feels so much better after they sit in there that they are surprised I'm not blowing out businesses, right? But here's my issue. I'm terrible at building websites. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. I don't understand it at all. So what I do is I head over to spacetrader.com and I go find somebody that's amazing at building websites. But his issue is he's standing up all day because he doesn't have a chair. You know, so I reach out to dude and I'm like, yo, bro, I don't want you to be standing up all day. I make these incredible chairs. These guys can maybe make you a chair and you can help me build a website. And together we are now helping each other's businesses grow. And that's what spacetrader.com is. And that's kind of what you said AGS was like for you guys. So that's really why they let me do a show. I apologize for setting you up. Our first sponsor. So shout out to spacetrader.com and shout out to AGS and JP for helping you guys out. That's awesome of them. Getting into what you guys do, I went over to your Discord earlier today, and I'm not gonna lie, you guys seem like you're having a lot of fun. How much do you guys actually use this Sphere food and beer channel?
Oh man, that's one of my favorite places because I love to cook. You got a couple guys in there that are also, you know, big time foodies. Um, Baj Marley, he's one of our like guys. When anytime he posts a pic, you know it's going to be like, okay, is this the food channel or is it the Food Network or whatever? So like he does a lot of good cooking, and then you know we use it for like you know holidays and stuff like that. Okay, we're running a you know a promote like a rewards and perks thing, like oh whoever posts the best meal and things like that. Like we make it fun, you know, and the guys also like to just you know post when they're having a good time.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I went through there earlier today. I was eating a bowl of cereal while I was trying to do my notes for today. I got super jealous, bro. That you make incredible stuff over there. Like milk just drained from my mouth. Going like, what am I looking at? This looks incredible. So shout out to all the cooks you guys got over there. I also noticed that you guys have a DraftKings channel. What is that all about?
So we mainly only use it during the football season because it's like the easiest to do. Um, Basically, we'll post a room, and you know, as many people join, it's like a $10 join, and you know, it's your fantasy pick. You know, you pick your squad, and you know, goes from there. So we'll create the room, and sometimes we'll get up to 20, 30 people in there, and you know, we'll do like the top 3 or 4 people will get payouts. So you know, it's just a way of you know connecting to the league and you know bringing a little something extra. So you go in there, you play DraftKings, you know, pick your squad.
Now, you mentioned your rules a little bit ago, but I'm going to kind of dive in a little bit further because I saw a channel that I thought was really cool. I tried to decipher it the best I could, but I just couldn't understand it the right way. And I figured if I couldn't do that, your average member that came in and just applied without saying anything, they probably couldn't either. So I want to give you a chance to explain this. Can you explain to me what rewards and perks are?
All right, so every year, you know, we try to incentivize, you know, activity within the league, whether it be streaming, whether it be, the Twitter accounts um, and things like that. So with the rewards and perks channel, it breaks down like a reward system. Like if you engage this much on Twitter, you receive, +4 to blah 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 blah. So basically it's just literally like our store. You go in there and if you're contributing to the league and these ways, these are the rewards for being a great member within our community, which is going to also it's taking a little bit of a it's getting a little bit of an upgrade with the built-in marketplace feature in Discord. So guys will be able to earn fake bucks to then be able to purchase things. And I've been playing around with it. I wasn't too familiar about it. I heard about it from a few leagues that they were using it. And we're going to roll it out for Madden 22. So it's going to take our rewards and perks thing to like an official store versus it being, I have to now go on Twitter and look at your engagement, or I have to go to your Twitch and, check out your archive games and things like that. Those things will still apply, but then you'll earn dollars that you can then spend instead of us, you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the questions that I do have is, you mentioned that your rule set was more fair play. And when I entered the Madden community about a year ago, the only thing I had ever known when it came to online gaming and leagues was sim gaming. Like, we were trying to be the most sim league anywhere out there, right?
mm-hmm.
I started realizing that word wasn't something that a lot of people use. It never meant the same thing. Like, nobody's version was the exact same as somebody else's, right? So then I started listening to what some leagues were doing, and it almost sounded like that word sim was like so against what they want to do. They're like, I don't even want to hear the word. Don't say that word around my community. We don't play by sim rules. We play
Yeah.
called fair play rules. And that's where I first got introduced to fair play. And you just kind of mentioned that earlier. Can you explain to me, somebody that's sim to my core, right? What
Mm-hmm.
the difference between fair play and sim?
I think the biggest difference is the I feel like you put the onus on the user to do the right thing. So um, with sim, it's like, all right, we have to make the game be as realistic as possible, which in my opinion, I think is almost impossible. Because Madden's always going to Madden. If it's anything, you know what Madden is. So um, we don't even play under the sim structure. We play under comp rules. We're one of the few leagues that play under comp rules because, again, it takes the AI out of it and puts a lot of the onus on it. Usually, you don't see as much quirky Madden stuff happening. And I just think, again, when you go back to fair play, it's literally like, hey, we're both on the same level playing field when it comes to the rules. Now my ability to do this has to, overcome your ability to be able to do it.
Got you. That actually makes a lot more sense. Before we get you out of here, man, I got a couple more questions to get through, and I gotta know, with the Madden 21 cycle almost done, you guys said that you guys have a Super Bowl coming up. We'll talk about that in a second. The Madden 21 cycle is about to come to a close, though, for most leagues, right? How was this cycle for you guys?
I gotta say, man, this was probably the toughest cycle in a while because the game wasn't good. Like the game really wasn't that great this year. I enjoyed it because I just love playing it, but there was a lot of frustrating things about the game that, again, like users who don't, who care a lot more than me, or like at the point where like I hear guys every year like, oh, this is my last year buying Madden, So again, those guys are the guys that as a commissioner you worry about the most. Like, oh man, this guy's been with me for three cycles, and he's tired of the game. That's tough to fill a spot like that. So it was a lot of that this year. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't I didn't think the game was bad. I enjoyed it. I thought we had a good year. We saw a lot of people, grow within the community. Watching Snipes do what he did this year, like it was just like for overall, I think for the Madden community and for us to influence EA to make some changes to the game is big. And I think just that in general is what made it an exciting year because you got something to look forward to going into Madden for the first time in a long time. I believe.
Yeah, it was definitely. I know some were very frustrated with it. I know some really enjoyed it. What are your thoughts now with Madden 22 coming out? Have you gotten your hands on the beta?
Yeah, I was playing a beta for a little bit, and it's funny because I stayed away from next gen Madden on purpose because we stayed on current gen. I was like, I'm not gonna play next gen, but when I got my hands on the beta, I wound up playing it. I'm like, yo, this feels like a better game. It feels more, like the onus is on you, like the like you have to really like time that throw, or you can't just be spamming A for the tackle. Like you really got a ball on that. So I'm this, like I said, this is the first time in a long time I'm excited for a Madden release.
Yeah, I won't lie. When we started Madden 21 in our community, we were from the very get go. We were like, we are not going to transition to Madden 21 next gen. Let's just stay on current gen. Let's get through the year. Let's get through all because we do 6 seasons, right? We were like,
Mm-hmm.
let's do 6 seasons. We get through season 4. Next gen comes out. I start getting a ton of people be like, "Yo, we got to get next gen one going. We got to get the next gen going, right?" Then I was talking to people over DA, and they're like, "Yeah, if you get on next gen, give us some feedback on stuff you want." So then I was like, "Well, if they're asking for my feedback, like I have to get next gen going." I won't lie to you, man. As soon as I started playing next gen, I had to back out of our current gen league and give my spot. No one can tell me the games are the same. Everyone was like, they didn't change anything. You guys are liars. Like, and I don't want to call anybody that, but if anybody tells me that current gen and next gen are the same game, you are lying. Like visually, they look very similar. The menus exactly the same. I get it. Franchise exactly the same. I get it. When it comes to on the field, though, it felt like a night and day difference. So to now see that the off the field stuff is catching up franchise mode, I am so excited about what's coming that it's hard for me to even like keep it under wraps. But the new scouting looks phenomenal. The way that people are training every week, like I'm just so giddy to get started. Like I can't even contain my excitement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I literally told you we started on NCAA, and when I'm watching this scouting video, it like feels like Dynasty mode was one of the greatest modes ever created.
Yep.
And to have that, I mean, I mean, obviously I don't have that. I'm not playing it, but I'm looking at it and seeing how it's operating, seeing how things are. Like it felt like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it looks great. And to piggyback on that, how excited are you guys that NCAA is going to make its way back?
Oh man, we already talking about it. The guys are wearing the capes for the colleges that they support, and things like that. So I'm old school. I like to go get like a 1 star division, 1 star team, and try to build it up to a 5 star team. That's kind of like, I think that's the building. I think that's what we love the most about franchise, is the building aspect of franchise. So to have that back is it feels good, and to see the athletes taken care of at the same time. So
Now you guys
you
have
know,
big Super Bowl 20 coming up. You are going to have your Super Bowl 20 winner. When do you think that's going to be?
we're in we're actually simulating to week 16 right now, literally as we speak. I'm talking in Discord with the other commissioners. They're simulating to week 16. We're a 48-hour league, but most of the time we're advancing, just before 24 or just right after 24. So it could be definitely sometime this weekend that we could be into the playoffs. So I'm thinking like either Monday or Tuesday of next week. You're probably going to be looking at a Super Bowl from us. Of course, Snipes is going to be on the call. Snipes Television, one of probably, in my opinion, the best in the game. I watch him come up, and like he's the what he puts into his broadcast, it just elevates your league and elevates everything about the watching the game of Madden. So he's going to be on the call. So I'm thinking like earliest is next Tuesday. You'll see us doing Super Bowl 20 and ending the Madden 21 cycle.
Brother, I got to tell you something before we get off here, right? Is every time I get the opportunity to kind of sit down with people, the reason that I do this is I like to reach out to new people. I like to meet new people. I like to see what communities are doing. And I always leave a conversation with a sense of who somebody is, right? Now, through our conversation, you have shouted out multiple people, the AGSs, the JPs, the Snipes, the so-and-so, right? And so hearing you vocally say that is one thing, but I am over here at your Twitter right now, right? And out of everything that you guys have shown, out of all the stuff that we've talked about today, the one thing that I would encourage people to come join your league for is actually very simple. And it's not about what's on the field. I'm sure what's on the field is great. I'm sure what's on the field that other leagues is great as well. It's not about the community. I'm sure you guys' community is great. I'm sure just like the Soden and the other places, it's a fun place to go. What I absolutely love about going over to your Twitter is there is posts that you guys put out for yourself, right? But as I'm scrolling through here, I see retweets for Soden. I see retweets for Snipes. I see retweets for your own league stuff. I see retweets for XCFL. I see retweets for any given Sunday. I see retweets for the Madden show. I see retweets for MSR, XCFL. Brother, as much as you guys are trying to do for yourself, it feels like you want to do just as much for everybody else.
Listen, man, you got guys putting in a lot of work. You brought up Soden, like this dude, like in just a year, his league is on a completely different level than it was a year before. MSR is one of the leagues I follow, and I'm just like, man, like if I wanted my league to look like something, this is what I wanted to look like. And AGS is brothers, you know what I'm saying? That's like those are guys I felt like we were in the trenches together, coming up. And again, a lot of the stuff that I do, I learn from them. And like, again, if I can learn from some of these other guys and, the bigger they get, the bigger the entire community gets. And again, as a community, we had the power to change, make EA step up and do something, you know what I'm saying? So it's just power within, being together. And that's how I look at it, so.
Man, we've never met before this show, but guys, I can't recommend what Leather Helmets is doing enough. When you have commissioners and people that are leading a community that are completely selfless and they're doing this just because they want everybody else to be smiling, those are the places that you want to get to. That's a spot you can get into, you can be in for the next few years, and you are good to go. Check out their Super Bowl. They are out here retweeting everybody else. I want to make sure that over here at League Crawler, we're doing our part to help you. They're a 48-hour league. They're getting into week 16. That means their Super Bowl is coming up pretty soon. I would like to have a goal to make sure that Super Bowl is the most viewed event you guys have had all year. When we get done with this, DM me your guys' Twitch or whatever that's going to be posted on, and I will do whatever I can to make sure that we are getting some viewers over there because I love helping people that help others.
Actually, I mean, I appreciate that for sure, man. I definitely get you that information, and we'll continue to be out here and be an extension of the community and try to represent.
Guys, that is Jim Jones. He is a commissioner over at Leather Helmets. They are on Xbox. For Madden 22, they are moving to next gen. If you do not have a league and you want a place to play, I highly recommend what they're doing. If you don't know how to get in contact with them, get over to Twitter at L Helmets. Everything you need right there for their Discord, their information, it's all right there. Jim Jones, is there anything else you want to add? Is there something that I didn't touch on?
No, man, I just appreciate you just giving us a chance to get out here and tell you what Leather's about and, continue to show love for the Madden community. So thanks, man.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And make sure that in the next few weeks you're tuning in because the show is about to drastically change.
Absolutely.
Should be a lot.
Guys.
Guys, we'll see you next week.